Yo, what's up? It's your boy Carcino here, back to the "We Told You So" segments of what's been happening around the industry. It's been kind of crazy out here. Watching things materialize the way it has and spiral into what it is has been quite interesting, to say the least. And now that you see how things are forming, people are starting to speak out. Ryan Clark just gave a message to the people via, his connections in the game, the people he had behind him. You have all of the people who were in support of Cam Newton and people who didn't understand why he was let go. And I was telling them the reasons why he was let go. There's a lot of people that just didn't want to believe what I was saying because they're like, well, you're sitting on the couch. How do you know? It's just one of those situations where let's just say I guessed right. Then let's just use that analogy. Now, when you start looking at where they're going today, and you're saying Cam is going to speak out, now people are going to have some more questions that's on the table. They're going to want to know what's more tangible. What is Cam Newton is going to bring to the table? See, Cam is his own man. And once he said that on his show, 4th and 1, like, ESPN don't control me. Stephen A. Smith is my brother, but he don't control me. Once he made that analogy that these guys can't control me, that was going to introduce a very dangerous element to the room. You basically told the bosses, ESPN, that they can't get you to conform to their ideals or beliefs. That makes them go, why are we paying this person? Well, we can get somebody in here who's going to say, yes, sir, and go do what we need them to do. You see, when you look at the image of Cam Newton, him coming in the league, like I told you, he was what the NFL and sports world wanted. He was what white America wanted. They wanted Cam Newton. He was everything they say. Why can't a black quarterback be like this? Why can't a black quarterback be like that? That's what they wanted to represent. They wanted Cam Newton, this guy. Cam had the low cut. He had the all-American smile. He wore suits. He didn't have any tats. He was clean cut, wholesome. That's what they wanted in America. He threw for over 4,000 yards, and they called him a rushing quarterback in his rookie season. Broke all the records for the Carolina Panthers. But yet, they're still searching for that identity. When they had it in Cam, they couldn't do anything but put it down. So now Cam has said, well, when I dressed the part, my hair was a certain way. I had no earrings. I didn't have any piercings, no tattoos. I wore the suits. I spoke properly. I smiled. None of you wanted anything to do with me, I was still considered an N-word to you. So why would I change that to what you want me to be now? You didn't like me then when I was doing the things you preferred, saying, why can't they do this? Why can't they do that? They could do it. You still ain't going to like them anyway, because it doesn't address the main issue. White guy could be all tatted up. He's a rebel. Black guy get tats. He's a thug. So it's all about the verbiage and how they make it sound. Right? So Cam dresses the way he wants to dress. He's going to wear the big old hats like the Mountie or something. He's going to do his own thing because why not? Cam's going to tell you why he was let go. And it was exactly the reason I told you when I said he will be the next to go. But I'm going to let Cam tell you. Listen.
Individuals that cover sports was something that it got me to realize have a newfound respect for the skill. Molly Carroll, Shea Cornett, obviously Stephen A. Smith, Ryan Clark. When you had Dan Orlovsky, Peter Schrager, the list goes on, and all the countless producers and support team that went into making sure that I was equipped with all the information each and every episode. It was second to none. So when you hear certain things, it was like, dang, it's messed up how they did Ryan. Hold on real quick. Hey, you could go with it too. They're like, dang! You have to make light of something, because for me, if this isn't a way for all athletes and even content creators to learn one important rule of the times that we live in right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you don't own your own platform, you're going to get overlooked, bypassed, and be extinct just like dinosaurs. Mm.
Listen to what he said. Same thing I said. Same thing everybody else is saying now. It's 2026 and we're still discussing ownership. Because everybody was okay with just getting a check. This is what I was telling people for the past 2 days when Ryan Clark was gone. I'm like, you got the Pivot podcast, yeah, but what network do we own? Where's our outlet? Why we don't combine our money to do that, to get that outlet, get that platform so that we can have that, so we can say, no, we're not firing anybody over here. How many white outlets they have? Numerous. They can do what they want to do. Nobody gonna get rid of the Blaze and tell them what they got to do. If they don't want to, they want to be conservative and hate against everything, and nobody gonna change their mind because they're supported by their group. Nobody telling them they got to change their tune. They got to move in a different direction now. Nobody's telling them that. Why is that? And you find that pretty strange that nobody's telling them to move around. But yet, if they're liberal, they can come out and attack and do the things that they say you can't do on YouTube. But what he said now about ownership, so you don't have these type of situations. When they told Cam, hey, you can go too. He's making light of it, but he was like, man, when he saw what was happening with Ryan Clark, the people that worked there that didn't like Ryan Clark, he was too opinionated. I told y'all the real incidents. They're trying to dig up some Pat McAfee. I'm like, this is why I hate about the sports media world. It's so controlled by people who know nothing and don't do any research. The information is right there in your face. They say, oh, well, the way he did Peter on the show that day when he says, you know, coming from a guy who never played, and he put him down that way, that's right there. He belittled him. And that was, I'm like, Peter probably didn't like him anyway because of that. They had a conversation, they moved on. That's not the reason he's gone. Not at all. They're not going to get rid of somebody for Peter. No. When he went on ESPN's, I think it was either Thursday night football, Monday night football, one of them nights, and he went off script and started talking about the player from LSU, saying the videotape proved he was innocent and he had took his life and all that. And he chose their platform to make that stance, not his Twitter, and millions of people got to see that Ryan Clark made that decision to do that. I thought he'll be fired immediately. He apologized. I said, whew, surprised they didn't fire Ryan Clark, but they didn't want to create a firestorm. So when this merger went down, the NFL wanted him out. So this is an NFL decision. And the NFL got rid of Cam Newton. They don't want Cam broadcasting the Super Bowl and covering their games on their platform. The Philadelphia Eagles cannot stand Cam Newton. And the Eagle fans considerably were celebrating when Cam Newton was fired because of the way he talked about the quarterback. And then they look at it as complete jealousy of Jalen Hurts. So the whole city of Philly is up in arms rejoicing that Cam Newton is gone off of ESPN. But guess what? He's still going to talk about Jalen Hurts on his own platform. Now, here's what we're talking about, people. And this is the awareness now that's coming to play. You have no real say or power, and this exploits what I believe Whitlock even brought it up about Stephen A., me, Kwame Brown, everybody else. Stephen A. can't save you. He can't save anybody from getting fired. He couldn't save Jalen Rose. He couldn't save anybody from getting axed. He has no power. He's a subservient, and he likes being a subservient. He's somebody that likes to be on the plantation. And he wants to recruit other people to be on the plantation with him, where he's your superior. So he's your superior over you, but the bosses is over him. And he just loves that little bitty thing of, yeah, I got you here. Remember that. I'm your superior. I'm the boss. You look up to me. But then you go around in that room crawling around on all fours, kissing up to your bosses, that you're proud to do it. Man, we had black ancestors that had to endure that in the 40s and 50s, had to kiss up to them just to keep their families alive and go home angry and shamed. And a black woman had to pick them up because they knew they was making a sacrifice for the next generation. They wouldn't have to do all this. I remember Willie James said, man, he told his son at 8 years old, down in Virginia, Willie James said, I'm doing this in this racist state in Virginia. I'm doing all this work, blisters all on my hands, working for this man. And he look at me like a dog. Meanwhile, he got a big old house, got all the black folks cleaning for him, the washing of the clothes. They do everything for him. So he can live like a king. And we don't get a raise. We've been paid the same amount of money for 6 straight years. And they call us all kind of names. People riding by on the trucks. We got to ride the bikes over there and hope none of them get drunk enough to want to come over there and fight us. And I got to deal with all of that abuse. And I just got tired. I said, we got to move. There's got to be something better than this. But he told his son at 8, he said, I don't know how long I could deal with this and be around you. But I'm going to tell you like this. Your generation, your kids, your grandkids, I might not be here, but y'all gonna have to turn this thing around. Hopefully we got enough of us to get empowered. We're gonna learn. We're gonna go to school, hit them books. Get them books, boy. Them books gonna save you. They can't take away what you know. Willie James told him that, and that guy went on to have kids. His father lived about probably 15 more years after that before he had a heart attack, passed on. Then he lived from 97. He lived to 97. He lived and passed in 1997. The son name was Clifford. Clifford made it to 1997 before he passed. And now his son, was named Edwin James, which was the grandfather that he taught. He's the one now back in Virginia making changes, making things, and been putting things in motion. So the grandson that he was talking about independence, getting in the business world, tech, he wanted to change all of this. So it wasn't just media and entertainment. He wanted us to have a place in the business world. We want to get in the business game because this is where they don't want you to be. Everywhere in society, they don't want you to be. They want you to be the worker. You're the burden bearers. We are. Black folks were made to be the burden bearers for the superiors, who they call the superior race. They call themselves that. But it's mentally enslaving you in your mind. That's how they keep you trapped. So this is when he talking about getting your own business, getting your own platform, doing your own on your own. He's talking about breaking this chain of enslavement in here. Do you see the way Cam dressed now? That's because he broke the chains of enslavement. He says, I'm going to do it my way. I don't care what it looked like. I don't care if it don't match. I don't care if you don't like it. It upsets you, good. Then I'm doing something right. Because when I did it your way, you didn't like me then either. When I was this guy and I did it your way, you didn't like me then. You didn't like me. You treated me the same way as you're treating me right now. So I might as well say what I want to say. Right? You might as well say what you want to say. That's a damn shame we got to say that nowadays. Well, at least he's straight. At least he's straight. Well, define straight. Whole different world we living in. There's always going to be some pushback. There's always going to be people coming after you. Now, as Cam continued to tell people what the situation was by first introducing the fact that ownership, bringing that to the forefront. Once you own your own, they can't take nothing away from you. Get your own platform, create your own outlet, create your own jobs. Don't forget, you guys can hit the like button up and hit the hype button. My Cash App is Carcino if you don't want to super chat. We appreciate all the love and support, y'all. Giving y'all the real, on the real. So now, with all this that's been provided for everyone to see, right? How many of these people are pushing the narrative every day that needs to be pushed? Because what I told you is when it's time to circle the wagons, who's going to be gone first? The people they don't even need there, right? The people that were the burden bearers, they're going to be the first one gone. But the reason that we don't is because we don't trust each other. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Shouts out to Doug Diagnostics. I know people that's making money was been making money. I know a dude made money since I was a kid back in the 80s. He used to fix people's VCRs. I know what y'all don't even remember VCR. Most of y'all don't even remember what in the world that is. What's up, Fila? Man, these dudes used to clean VCRs. Then he used to like, because people had, VCRs used to eat your tape. It was just like a tape player. Just like that, right? He had that business. Why? Because his business was all about service. And when people would get rid of furniture, he'll just take them. And he just had a place that he paid rent for. And he'll just be sitting outside and put the thing out there aside and sell the furniture. And they was like, man, and he'll just have his truck go around, pick up furniture that people are getting rid of. Because he said, hey, man, white people give away good stuff. Or if somebody pass away, they go to Goodwill. He'll go get some at Goodwill and put it out there for sale. Put it right there on the curb and make a bunch of money. And he's like, I was making $200 a day just off furniture I got for like $35. He's like, man, I can pay $35 and make a fortune off this furniture. Most of it for free. People be throwing away stuff and other people would buy it in instance. He's like, man, I had this artwork, man. This dude paid me $100 just for the piece of artwork that cost $19. He's like, I got that for $19 in a Goodwill. But the thing is this guy was doing this in the 80s. He started because that was his thing, be of service to people. If you could be of service to people, you can always make money. You can always earn. So that was his thing, be of service. So when Cam starts talking about doing what he's doing right now and moving in that with that kind of energy, the we told you so method that we tried to tell everybody, this is what we meant. This is what we talked about, the growth. To move into a area mentally where you in control of things. They don't want you to have control. They want you behind the 8 ball. They don't want you learning and knowing anything. That's obsolete for them. Oh, absolutely. Let's get to the gist of that some more. Let's really unpack that, because Ryan Clark got the pivot, right? Ryan Clark got the pivot. Cam got 2 shows already. So it ain't like they're oh my God. It's other people at ESPN. Like I told you, they get severance packages. They don't get the same thing you and I get. They get a severance package. Like they're on-air talent. They get paid out their entire salary. Then ESPN moves away from them. But you don't burn bridges. You don't be like, F y'all. I ain't want to work there no way. I ain't coming back. You ain't got to do all that. But, it's going to dictate and open up something that people need to realize, that when the chips are down, they're going to blame us. They're not going to blame what their method was. They don't care about all the millions of dollars they paid to all those white guys that didn't earn or bring in any money. They used black people to build up white people's shows. They couldn't justify Greeny's salary. I like Greeny, but Greeny was losing. Then they kept putting him on the show and kept putting new people around Greeny to try to Get Up to what it is now. So now it's like, okay, Get Up is doing good, and then they want to credit Greeny. I'm like, no, Greeny was there and the show was losing. But it's all about who they like. But let's listen to some more, Cam.
Look at what's happening here.
Okay.
It's unfortunate what happened to Ryan Clark, but what I will tell you is this: Ryan Clark gonna be okay. The pivot ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate what happened to me. Some would think, but I'm good. 4th and 1 ain't going nowhere. Funky Friday ain't going nowhere.
Not at all.
When you think about what happened to Emmanuel Acho, Joy Taylor, different circumstances, different networks, different situations, but this is what you have to understand. When you look at the speakeasy, all right, and when you look at other sports personalities having and taking control of their own narrative, it's imperative that walking into this industry, you would be a fool, asinine behavior if you don't take that opportunity to say, number one, I need to learn as much as I possibly can, because I do not know when that time is going to call when I get tapped on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You see that? Cam did not go in there delusional. Cam went in there knowing one thing. He said, is Disney and the NFL network behind these layoffs? and they're going to bring in, these are not layoffs, these are firings. Okay, these people are not coming back. They're not bringing them back to work. They're firing them. No return. This is an NFL decision. The NFL is sold 10% of its entire company to the NFL for $3 billion. So now the NFL network, which is in California, will remain, and now it's owned by ESPN. So now the Super Bowl can be on ESPN now for the first time ever, and they'll have it this year. Now, because of that, NFL Network has its crew. They fired about one or two guys that they're not using. They cleared some money up and cleared a passageway so that they can move in another direction. You see, all of this is about positioning. So when you want to position yourself to a certain area, or let's go into this area and do it this way, this is how they want to move. So the NFL don't want any wild cards involved, like Cam Newton. Too opinionated. No way. Too much exposure. They don't want that. Not for their new NFL. It's not what they think is ideal. So you say, okay, I see what they're doing here. I get it. They don't want nothing to do with us on that level. So what's going on over here? But Cam went into this job knowing, hey, I could be fired at any time. So let me learn as much as I can. Let me not come in here like I know everything. Let me learn how a real production company works. That's key. He has a awareness. I don't know everything. Let me try to figure out while I'm here what's going on. Oh, absolutely. Now, when you arrive at said point, and you see this type of, dysfunction, you can start putting things together that benefits your belief. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. So what Cam did was first come in and say, let me learn. Right?
Number two, also take this as a way to bring more attention, more eyeballs, and to also magnify your personal IP. And I knew that that's what my intentions were.
Yeah.
Exactly. He did not come up there to be an employee. Understand that. Cameron did not come up there to be an employee. Build your own intellectual property. Build your whole business. Even on their platform, bring more, eyeballs to what you do outside of ESPN, so that the people that see you on ESPN will follow you over to where you go. Like when we discuss business on my Patreon, that's what we do. I'm very proud that I helped a lot of Black people make money and build a career and just open their eyes and ears to things they never knew. They said, man, thank you for doing that. I put stuff out for free on my Patreon. People think you got to pay for everything. I'm like, man, I have given you more for free than anybody that I know. I showed you in 2022? Let me show you my Patreon right quick. Show you something from there. You see these black people here? This black man created an app to show you how to get money for college for free. You see, the government have all these grants, and you used to have to go search for all these grants and all of these things and apply for them, and you didn't know how to go and get the money that's allocated for you to go to school with. A black man figured out an app so where you can just find it all on one app and simplified it. They're not telling you about it because they don't want you to know. And it's called Schoolie app. And there you have all the information you need on how to apply for these grants and get money for schools. And there's a lot of different grants that pay for your school that you get to go for free that they don't tell you about. And then next thing you know, some white kid is going to school for free off your grants. So once again, we've always been fighting a good fight. Always been fighting that good fight. So that's why you should have been a Patreon when I kept crying to y'all to join. They got free, I got free members, I got all kind of members. So that's why I say go over there, because now I get to control what I could say, my guidelines to the rules that I like to go by.
They knew that was what my intentions were. I was counseled to say, Cam, there's not another platform on linear television in your field like ESPN. And that was truer words that could not be spoken any clearer. You can't make me hate ESPN.
No.
What I've learned, it was an internship almost. The production value, they're the leading sports source for a reason. They have the leading talent, not only in front of the camera, but behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That makes sure whether it's a live show or whether it's in studio, that they are always on the cutting edge of topics and information, and also how it's rolled out.
Yeah.
So when the news came about, yes, I felt like anybody else would.
Because I was gonna say, did you see it coming?
I didn't, but that's not the topic that I want to kind of belabor on.
Yeah.
Only thing I can look at now, I will not be going back to First Take.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I still left with some things that you can't pay for. And that's relationships.
Yeah.
That's connections. That's to be able to say, man, dog, we can agree to disagree, bro. But boy, Ryan, boy, you brought the best out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Anthony, man, it was a plum, pleasing pleasure, brother. Molly, respect you. Shay, respect you. Dan, respect you. Pete, everybody behind the scene. Quaker, everybody behind the scene.
Yeah.
I appreciated that because I did not have that education. I am a former athlete that did not study journalism when I had the opportunity to study it while I was studying school.
Yeah.
You see that? That's the acceptance of, hey, I don't know it all. I'm cool that I don't know it all. I can learn. I'm willing to learn. My mind is open to learning. My mind is not closed to the idea of learning. It doesn't make me look bad for me saying I don't know something. Me not knowing something does not make me look bad. Well, granted, there's so many different angles people have taken to try to make something appear to look like a stance that doesn't need to be taken whatsoever. You look at this person here, he says relationship cams. That's what you get into business for. Most people, businesses fail. Sometimes the businesses fall and they are not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like their businesses go down to sender and nobody ever hear from it or it's just gone. But in those failed businesses, you might meet somebody and y'all might create another business and that can take off. Absolute take off. Mark Zuckerberg, who had Facebook, didn't know what he had, would have sold it to a major for a lot of money and been cashed out with about maybe 200, 300 million. And it'd have been done. Facebook would have eventually shut down and it'd have been over. And it'd have been the wave of something else new. This has happened over and over again. Same thing that happened with MySpace ended up happening all throughout. But Facebook remained. Why? Because he never gave up ownership. But he would have never got there if he didn't meet the creator of Napster. And when he came out with Napster and how the major record labels came and destroyed that and came after him with all the sanctions and fines and everything else, he'd been in those offices with those companies and knew how to talk, knew how the deals were, who the guys were that you're going to need to sit down with. His relationships while creating Napster, even when Napster's crashed and burned, helped him become damn near a billionaire by bringing in Mark Zuckerberg and showing him what the possibilities really were like. And he said, quit calling it the Facebook and just say Facebook. That was true. They was like, well, that was the biggest thing he ever did. No, that really wasn't. He brought in major funding that would keep the platform going because you're going to need it to deal with that massive amount of people coming in. You're going to need money for those servers. It can't fail. And you need a massive amount of money to deal with that type of traffic influx coming in every month. So it's all about business relationships and what you can get out of the business relationships. Now, we all have our disagreements. We all have our sense of Well, my thing is when people try to figure out what it is, when they try to prop up things to make something appear to be something that it isn't, and you say, okay, well, what am I getting here? What am I going to run up against as my opposition in this business? I worked at a company that the people knew that I was not going to be there long. This was a stepping stone for me. I was in the midst of building something. When I was building my YouTube platform, I had jobs that I created. I used to sell people direct TV. I never worked for direct TV a day in my life because I knew I could start a business and I could sell direct TV on my own. And remember the government phones that they call the Obama phones? I was like, oh, wow, they're giving out government phones to people. I knew how to sell that for free. I knew how to sell that to the people. So I went ahead and I knew what I was doing, set up a company, and got other people to do it. So everybody made money, and I was the boss. Had my own branch. I was third party because all you need is to sell direct TV or AT. Well, it's AT&T now, direct TV and all that stuff. It's all partnered, but all I would do is I could do the deal, the contract, get them probably a better deal than they would because you don't have to pay the direct TV corporation. I can get them the cheaper deal, get them the channels they want, know where the places that DirecTV go to get the equipment. All you're doing is buying the equipment, the boxes and everything else. That's all you're getting. And then you just have whoever's a delivery person or do installation. They don't work for DirecTV. They just regular installers. They know how to. They're independent contractors. So you just call them up, boom, get the installer. It's like, okay, they own the book, they got one. They go to the place, they go to DirecTV, pick up the equipment that's ordered, and then they go and install it. That's easy. That is really easy to do. The government phones, all these people that go to Walmart, they had all their information on them anyway because they get government assistance. So they got their social, they got their government card or whatever, their ID. Next thing you know, boop, boop, boop. And don't keep the phones on you. The government mail it right to the house. They go looking for you. Hey, man, you got them phones? All you had to do was apply, get the license, get the card or whatever. They pay you, take the test or whatever. They give you your shirt, whatever. Pick up your shirt, get your card, and you can go out there and get the phones out. And that's exactly what I did. And built my whole YouTube platform in the same time. I built all of it working for myself. I did not have to deal with a boss. I had partners. And I learned. But a firing spree comes down from corporations when they start circling the wagons. When things aren't going right, they're going to protect their own. And they're going to get rid of people who they feel they can't control or might be a problem. And this is the type of things that Cam Newton is trying to illustrate to you guys.
Yeah.
So now when you see certain things and you analyze and you start to say, like, this is how production works, you'll be a fool not to take your notes. You'll be a fool not to network and say, hey, man, how do you do this? And then even after, hey, man, I'm calling you and blah, blah, blah. Hey, don't feel sorry. This is a part of the industry that it's unfortunate that every single person, whether tenured or not, will have to face somebody.
True.
Either on your terms or their terms. Your terms. I'm retired. Sometimes retired could be very sketchy because they can force you to.
Mm-hmm.
Their terms is, hey, where the company is going, you don't align with it.
Yeah.
And that's still cool.
See, where the company is going, you just don't align with it right now. And see, that's what he's telling you as the reason why this was going on. Where the ESPN is going right now, you don't align with the direction ESPN is going. You see? And that's what they want you to know. Where the company is going right now, you don't align. You see, they telling you they finna do a shit. It's going back to the good old boy way. All that pro-black stuff, they finna tone all that down. They going back to the old ways. They gonna probably bring Norby Williamson back and all of the people that squaws Michael Smith and Jamel Hill up out of there for being too black. Back at that time when they wouldn't allow you to use your social media for nothing. Now you've seen people tweet and there's no problem whatsoever. They weren't taken back by it. Yep. But like he said, it's okay.
Bro, I'm a professional at what I do.
Yep.
And I will reiterate, you will not make me hate my experience with ESPN. What I've been able to garner with the face of sports media and Stephen A. Smith is something that I'll take to my grave.
Yeah.
The ability to roll out information, to process information in real time, to have a vast depth of verbiage and wordplay, not just with football, but basketball, baseball, boxing, golf, tennis. That's a person that you just marvel at.
Yeah.
And contrary to what anybody may say, there will never be bad blood between me and Ryan Clark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this here now. I respect the man that could call me and say, hey, man, this is why I feel the way I feel. You can't hate that. You can't hate a person by being able to say, dog, you look the part, you act the part, you are the part. But still, even having all those things with you, you still may not be the right fit at that particular point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the narrative may be. Oh, man, the only reason why he was there was because of... It don't matter what you may think, homeboy. It don't matter what you think, homegirl. I'm appreciative to even have had that opportunity.
For sure.
Is it unfortunate? Absolutely. But don't feel sorry for me. People go separate ways from jobs that they've been with way more than what I just went through.
Mm-hmm.
But own your own. To any former athlete that's out there that see this, listen, bro. Listen, sir. Hey, get you your own platform because it'll be hard to remove you from that.
Because what does that make you feel like to have your own platform? Like when you walk into something that you have created, what does that feel like? And what does that give you the option to do?
It's a constant. It's a constant of work. You have to pour into your team. That was a job that I tried to do at a high level. This Iconic Saga, 4th and 1, Funky Friday, anything content can, that's my passion.
Mm-hmm.
I so happen to get paid from that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more passionate about those things because when I talk to the team in pre-production, the Hassans, the Billies, the U's, whether it's John A on Funky Friday, when I talk with the team, Jimbo, VJ, you got shit. It don't matter. You got Rich, you got John Pierre, the whole team.
So he said a prima donna. No, not really. He's just somebody who's opinionated. I mean, you can say he's a prima donna, but what has he done that's prima donna? White guy do it, he's confident. Black guy do the same thing, he's conceited. Conor McGregor. Oh my God, I like Conor, man. He's great. He's hilarious. He's funny. Floyd Mayweather, oh, he's just arrogant. Oh, I can't stand him. He's just, he gets on my nerves. What's the difference? Floyd has never disrespected people like Conor has. Conor has been vulgar, foul, talk about their religion, and all kind of craziness. And they cheered for it. So it just tells you what is the common denominator there. But Floyd is the arrogant one. I knew this white girl who was coming up sleeping with anything black. If she saw a black pole, she might hump on it. Any black guy she had, every black guy in the neighborhood. I don't even know where she found these black people from. She would just pop up and be a whole new random black guy. I mean, where you find that dude from? You like, I don't know. I'm the only black dude in that area. I didn't even come outside. Next thing you know, I got her in my arms. I don't know. Every black dude was running through that chick. And they had that white girl for years. She was just getting bang, 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 bang. All these black dudes till she started thinking she was black. She trying to braid her hair, braid her blonde hair. She throwing up crazy signs. She don't even know what it means. So she goes through all of this. Then now she blinked. She's 27, tatted up, and don't nobody really want her. She's getting older. Then she get to her 30s. Here she is. Everybody that passed her by. Now she moves away, comes back from Colorado with her husband, and he's a white guy, some doggone white racist guy who just grew up around none but white folks in the snow and mountain lions. So now this he comes in, meets her family and all of this, and it's all white. And now her whole attitude changes towards blacks and all of this. Now she's a conservative. And it's like, conservative? You was a black person's sperm bank for years. Now they had a Mandingo party at your house every other night. Now you're conservative. So you got to be careful with these people because they'll run this whole narrative based off what? who they're with and where they're aligned to now. Their alignment of power is going in this direction. So now, because they're in this new direction, then they want to go. Yeah, they want to go into a whole new reality now. They want to forget and erase their entire past. Now they're this way. And now they want to think they could speak about these issues. It's like, are you serious? Used to be, black people used to have you there. Used to live at a black people's house, black family, helping them cook greens. Are you kidding? I'm like, your own white family didn't even want to deal with you because you was hanging around the blacks and you was rebelling against them. And this is why I tell these people, I'm like, dude, when you date somebody that's white, you have to understand, they have to understand that you're black and what you go through as a black person. They can't just omit that and just like, I don't see color. It was like, well, I need you to. I need you to recognize I am a black man in America. I need you to see that. You need to know that. Because what I have to go through in America is something that you will never have to experience in life or understand why it's even happening. Right, and you being with a white person ain't gonna change it. Oh no, he's not back officially yet. You know, it's way too soon for them to go ahead and push that button. Push the goddamn button. So anyway, we about to do some more business talk on the Patreon. So look forward to seeing you over there. I'll holler at y'all later. We out. Peace.